Hello, welcome to Versus Live. I am Ross Merriam.
I'm Todd Anderson.
Ross, your mic isn't on.
There it is.
Hello, welcome to Versus Live. I'm Ross Merriam.
I'm Todd Anderson.
And we got Rob over there in the booth telling me everything I do wrong. Granted, Todd usually does that.
Just for some transparency here, Ross was saying that he's very good at his job before this.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely did.
That is literally not what I was saying.
No, we were having a conversation about me leaving, which is going to be happening in a few months. Sad day. My wife recently got a job working for Blizzard Entertainment in California. She's going to be doing some work on Hearthstone there, and we're going to be moving out there. She's moving actually like a month before me while I get our affairs in order here because we own a house and we're going to either rent it out or sell it out, and I'm not sure which yet. But I'm gonna miss you guys.
I'll miss you too, Todd. But as of now, we're still doing Versus Live. It's still brought to you by StarCityGames.com, as well as Carnox Chairs.
Yes.
Make sure you go to Carnox.com/SCG if you want one of these bad boys, because they are nice. Especially nice for me because I slept awkwardly the other day and my neck kind of hurts.
Yeah, you got that neck pillow though.
Yeah, so now I got the neck pillow. It's great.
Got that lumbar support. That's the one thing I miss. I actually have a computer chair at home that's not a gaming chair, and there's just no lumbar support. It just, if I lean back, it leans back. It's like a lazy boy, and there's no lock to it. This thing's got a lock. You can lock it midway down, and you can, just lean back. It's nice.
It is.
I really hope Carnox watches some of these and just sees how good of the pitches I do. See how good you do.
You aiming for a new job once you move?
I got to make money somehow.
Yeah, marketing director for Carnox Chairs. Not a bad gig.
All right. Well, we do have some Magic to play today. So what are we doing?
We are prepping for Team Modern coming up this weekend in Pittsburgh. And, Hogak deck, Bridgevine is going to be everywhere.
Everywhere.
But it's not going to be everything.
Well, it's weird because this is a Team Modern event, but it's not collated or whatever, unified. So people can actually, all three players of the team can play the Hogak deck if they want. So it might be really bad. There might be a lot more Hogaks than we're actually really anticipating, but there's also going to be a lot of backlash to Hogak.
Yeah, we've seen at this point almost every single deck is running 4 to 6 or more graveyard hate cards in their 75.
A lot in the main and more in the board.
I've seen some main deck rest in pieces, some main deck ley lines, a ton of main deck surgicals.
I've seen a lot of the Hogak decks main decking to Light of the Void just for the mirror.
Yep,
that's how you know it's bad.
The measures have gotten pretty extreme, and I think they are extreme enough to at least contain the deck to some extent. Did not win the MCQ last weekend. That was Azorius Control. Mm-hmm. Still put up multiple copies in the top 8, 7 in the top 30.
Actually, the MCQ this past Saturday was actually won by Renan 6 Jund.
I'm thinking the other one. The other one was
the week
Azorius.
Before was Azorius Control.
There's another modern event this weekend in Moto. One was the MCQ, one was a challenge.
It wasn't a challenge. It was actually
format championship.
Yeah. Modern format championship. There's a lot of things going on Magic Online.
There are 2
a lot of cool stuff.
But both of them had a ton of Hogak. But we are not going to focus on that. We did a lot of that last week.
Yeah, we did the jokey play against banned cards, and it overperformed against the banned cards.
It's pretty good.
And then actually underperformed against the active modern decks, which is also kind of messed up.
But what we are going to do is we're going to try to show you some of the other decks that might show up this weekend.
Yeah.
This is our dark horse a day. We got 6 decks that are a little bit underneath the radar that could pop up and give the Hogak deck some issues, as well as the other decks in Modern that people are playing a lot of. And we're going to start with 2 spicy ones.
Are you ready for the perfect storm? Because once you're mine, there's no going back. He said dark horse. I can't not Katy Perry.
I have a cover of that song in my Spotify library.
Nice.
And I had no idea who did the original. And I've had it for at least a year.
You're
not a clue who did the original.
Okay, well, let's start off with decks. Our first round decks. I'm going to be playing effectively an Izzet version of Thopter Foundry, and you might say to yourself, "Well, Todd, there's black or white in the mana cost of the Thopter Foundry. How can you?" Well, you got a million artifacts that pay black mana, right? So it's not that hard to cast it. We have one snow-covered swamp, got one mountain, some Spire Bluff Canals, a bunch of snowlands in general. But we're playing a Goblin Engineer version of the Thopter Sword deck. And now we talked a little bit about Goblin Engineer with Thopter Sword and how it can find either peace, and if you already have Thopter Foundry, getting the sword lets you basically go off immediately. Combine that with Urza, Lord High Artificer, and you actually have an infinite combo where you actually make infinite Thopters, gain infinite life, and you can flip your deck over if you want to. Now, on top of that, the deck has like Psy Master Thopterist, a lot of tutor effects via the engineer, but also with War of Invention. So, there's a lot of really cool stuff going on with this deck, and I believe it got 9th place at the MCQ.
Yeah, it's been around for a few weeks. Canister is playing it for a little while, has since been off it, I believe, but it's popped up in the top lists of several of these, either MCQs or challenges, just modern events that are happening online. Deck has a lot of cool elements to it. It's sort of a combo deck. It's sort of a prison deck. It can still just sort of mid-range you with Psy and Urza. So a lot of different elements to it. And with Goblin Engineer, you can also tutor for Mana Graveyard Hate against Bridgemine. So a lot of things to like here, even though it is a graveyard-centric deck itself. You don't have to use the graveyard to win. You can just sort of beat down with some Constructs if you draw an Urza, or beat down with a bunch of Thopters if you draw a Psy. So I like that you're not completely dependent on it, and definitely a powerful deck that can win as early as turn 3.
Yeah. All right, well, that's what I'm playing. What are you playing? Some sort of Jund or Grixis or Jundstress strategy?
It's a Rakdos deck. We got one Stomping Ground, one Steam Vents. I know Cedric will probably call it 4-color Dreadhorde nonsense.
Everyone's going to think it's a Command the Dreadhorde deck.
Yeah. No, it's Dreadhorde Arcanist combined with Suspend spells, the Ancestral Vision and
Crashing Footfall.
Crashing Footfalls. There we go.
Keep going.
So these two spells that you're able to cast from your graveyard with Dreadhorde Arcanist. So we got Faithless Looting, Lightning Axe, and Collective Brutality as ways to get them in the graveyard. Can also cast them from the graveyard with Finale of Promise, and then cast them from our hand with Electro Dominance. So a lot of different ways to abuse these cards. They're really powerful when you get to cast them for 2 mana, or cast them for free with the Arcanist. But otherwise, we're just sort of a disruptive, as Todd said, Jund style deck.
Yeah.
Discard spells, Dark Confidants, removal, and we use those cards to generate a pretty significant advantage. They're sort of our Bloodbraid Elf kind of cards.
Yeah, and the deck's actually really interesting because something like Dark Confidant deals you on average of about 1.2 damage per flip or something like that.
Because way less than that.
You have a ton of zeros with Crashing Footfalls and Ancestral Visions, as well as all your lands. And then even stuff like Electro Dominance, which is like the top end of your curve, only deals you 2.
Yeah, I bet you're under a point per Dark Confidant or trigger.
But the deck looks really cool. I played it in one league, and I was not very successful, but I feel like I played it really poorly. And this is a deck that you have to basically know all the ins and outs, because there's so many turns where you have to figure out whether or not you should discard. Sometimes you should discard a different thing, and sometimes you should Dreadhorde Arcanist to friggin' flashback a discard spell instead of drawing 3 cards.
It's a ton of different decisions in terms of what to target with the Arcanist, how to use your removal and other disruptive elements, how to cast Faithless Looting, and casting Faithless Looting in a fair deck a lot harder than doing it in an unfair deck where you know which cards you need to put in the graveyard. The fair deck, you're using it more to fix your draws and fix your hand. And there are going to be some games where you just go discard spell and Arcanist, looting the Crashing Footfalls, make 2 4/4s and crush them the same way Jund can do that with Thoughtseize, Tarmogoyf, Liliana. But a lot of the games are going to be very intricate, and another deck that has these graveyard elements but isn't completely reliant on them, so playing through the incredible amounts of graveyard hate that exist in the format, also somewhat difficult.
Yeah. So one card I do want to try in the deck very soon is Seasoned Pyromancer. I think Seasoned Pyromancer works well with the curve. You go turn 2 Arcanist, turn 3 discard any card you want to flashback with the Dreadhorde Arcanist and generate some 1/1s along the way. It also just gives you a little bit more resiliency to that graveyard hate, because all in all, You know, if your opponent hits you with a surgical extraction on your crashing footfalls, like the game gets a lot harder to win. That's exactly what happened to me the first time I played with the deck. My opponent surgicaled my crashing footfalls, and I had to surgical it myself to keep it from getting exiled. It was pretty scary.
Yeah, the threat density is pretty low, so I bet you're a little weak to removal, just like killing your Arcanists and your Dark Confidants, and then you have to find a way to get the Footfalls online, which can be difficult against high disruption decks. So Seasoned Pyromancer definitely helps you in those sorts of matchups. That makes a lot of sense.
It also would help you maybe build a version featuring Unearth too. So like if your opponent kills your Dreadhorde Arcanist, you unearth it. Next turn you get to Unearth attack, get back Seasoned Pyromancer. There's a lot of ways to build this deck. This is actually draft number 0.5 because I changed some stuff from the original list, and they're probably bad.
When you say 0.5, you mean it's gotten worse?
Yeah, I made it worse.
Yeah. That's
I just really
typical.
so it had main deck surgical extractions, but I'm actually looking at building this in a world where Altar of Dementia doesn't exist, and I think that surgical could just be in the sideboard, which is why I have a ton of like 6 or 7 in the sideboard, like anti-graveyard stuff. So.
Okay, well, surgicals will come up in this matchup, so thanks for taking them out of the main deck.
All right, just for Ross. No, just for Ross. I have a Tormod's Crypt in my deck that I don't really want. No,
keep your deck the same.
No.
I don't even think Tormod's Crypt is good.
All right, I'm gonna
keep it in your deck.
Cut the Grafdigger's Cage. Okay.
Put your cards in your deck.
Don't tell me what to do.
Now I gotta change cardboard live. You just
All right, let's get to the match now. Any funny things chat has said?
They're all sad you're going.
Aw. I'm not. Look, I'm still gonna be writing for Star City Games. I'm still gonna be doing streams and making content, but I'm just not gonna be on Versus Live anymore. You could patch me through, right? Can I please cut this for my deck? Because I'm gonna cast this on turn 1, and you have no way to deal with it.
Nope.
This is on the bottom of my deck.
Nope.
So you want to play a game where I just okay. I was gonna say, well, this hand is weird.
You're weird.
Well, you got the marble, so I get to go first, right?
That is true.
All right, I'll keep.
Same.
Go. I'm gonna scred you.
I am going to Inquisition you.
Which I got 2 pair.
I mean, I guess I'll take a Goblin Engineer. It seems better than second Mox Opal.
Yeah. All right, Engineer, and I'll go get a Grafdigger's Cage, I guess. Better kill it.
Let's
better suspend crash underfoot or whatever right now.
Go to 17, get a Stomping Ground, and play Dark Confidant. Best turn.
Okay. Play this. I'll sack it. Get a cage.
Yep.
Play my lands. Play another Mox. Fast turn. Now, this actually is not very good against the actual Dark Confidants, and with me not really applying very much pressure to Ross's life total, he actually can just beat me with suspending. Take 0.
17. Okay, let's Inquisition you.
You get him another Mox.
Got it.
At a good draw.
Prismatic Vista. Okay,
Yes.
attack for 2, brings you to 18. And then I will go to 14 and get the Steam Vents and suspend both of these.
Awesome. This is what I wanted to see.
You can go.
All right. I only control 2 artifacts. And you need 3. Just making sure. All right.
Yep.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and trade a Mox Opal for a Mox Opal. Play Prismatic Vista and fast turn. Just kidding.
Yeah, seems unnecessary.
Yeah.
Probably.
Probably.
Leave that mountain untapped.
Fine.
Okay, so you just play the Vista.
We're playing it loose over here, okay? I don't really have a whole lot going on.
That's pretty typical.
But loose or not having a whole lot going on? Both?
I go to 13.
Okay.
And draw.
Ross is talking about how, Dark Confidant dealing you damage doesn't really matter. And
Faithless Looting.
I had words. Yeah, sure.
Let's do it that way and play another Dark Confidant.
Yep.
You can go.
Maybe I should. Yeah, I'm gonna crack this.
You're at 17.
I'm gonna go ahead and get the Snow Covered Swamp just in case I draw Thopter Foundry. I can cast it, and that'll turn on Mox Opals and.
Does this deck have an Engineered Explosives?
Probably. Maybe not.
Nice.
Nope. No engineering explosives over here. Man, them rhinos are going to get me.
They're coming for you.
All right. I'm at 17.
Yep, 17-13.
Draw for turn. That was a good draw. We'll start with Astrolabe.
That's a good draw. Now you can actually cast Urza. Urza probably the scariest card from Todd at this point, given that it's really the Construct. You're at 16.
Last turn.
We got a Whir. So
No, I got Inventor's Fair. So I can Inventor's Fair now for Thopter Foundry. And then if I draw an Engineer or the Sword, I can go off.
I go to 11. Okay. Faithless Looting?
Sure.
Attack for 4. You go to 14. Play Blood Crypt and another Dark Confidant.
Okay.
You can go.
All right. Pot the Fair. Think we're getting Thopter Foundry. We could get Bridge, actually. If he just doesn't have Artifact Destruction, Bridge might just win the game. Why not? YOLO. Just kidding. I know Ross is deckless. He has no way to kill it. And he can't win anymore. He can bolt me 4 times. No, twice. He has 2 bolts in his deck. 2 fatal push. Go. You can make me draw the Ancestral Vision.
That is the plan.
Aha!
I'm at 9.
Start confidence there on everything. I can kill him.
Lane Arcanist.
Mm-hmm.
Pass the turn.
Draw. Well, I don't think this does much of anything. Just crack for red. Let's play an Urza. Trigger, get a construct.
Yep.
This is net even on mana.
What are we naming with the needle?
You don't have anything to name, so I'll name Sarpadian Empires Volume 7. Tap 5. Actually, Urza. Cast it, I guess. Get it out of my deck. Here you go. Now, it says shuffle, but when you have a randomized deck.
End of turn, push the construct.
Okay.
Bolt you.
I'm at 11.
You trigger these first. I'm at 8. Still with these on the stack. Lightning Axe there. Cast Crashing Footfalls for 2/4/4s and make you draw 3 cards.
All right.
Draw for turn.
Mm-hmm.
Attack you for 5.
Go 2/6.
Inquisition you.
Aw.
Spend Ancestral.
Sure.
You can go.
Is that both your bolts gone?
No, just one.
Okay. Draw for turn.
Yep.
Play this.
What?
Draw a card. If I have 2 lands in hand, so if I draw another land, you just get to attack me for 5. All right, good. Draw this, play this. Say go.
Maybe I shouldn't suspend this.
Why not?
Because if I draw Electro Dominance, I
Well,
get
if you draw
to cast.
Electro Dominance, you can just dome me for X.
That's only 3. Whereas if I draw Electro Dominance now, you're just dead.
Right, but or you could just kill me in 4 turns.
But I have all 4 Electro Dominances still in my deck. I'm super likely to find it in that 4 turns. Yeah,
Okay.
pretend I didn't
Sure,
suspend.
sure.
Suspending this is horrible.
Okay. You drew 3 lands in a row.
Get you for 1.
5.
Now, with Electro Dominance being dead regardless, being lethal regardless because you're at 5, I can just suspend this. Now it's correct.
Wow, weird. It's almost like you just
You can go.
should have just done it last turn.
No.
All right, go. Maybe I shouldn't have blocked with that. Okay, I'm dead.
Well,
We're at 6.
oh, I got you with that. Yeah, I go to 6.
Oh yeah, you can make me draw 3 cards.
Yeah, play this, deal you 5, you draw 3.
All right, I go 0 and draw 3.
and then attack you for 13.
That was really cool.
Oh, this should be on 3.
That was really cool.
I did a lot of things that I didn't think were going to be relevant, but I drew 40 extra cards from Dark Confidant. And you saw, like, I drew a million extra cards from it, and it dealt me, I think, 6 damage over the course of all of that. Because I fetch shocked twice.
Yeah, you fetch shock twice, and I think it sent you from 11 to 9, 9 to 6, so it'll be 5, 6, 7. I think you took 7 damage from it. Toit. All right. Break or no break?
It's up to you.
I don't wanna.
All right, we'll take
Okay.
one.
Yeah, well,
All right.
we'll do it live.
We'll do it live. We're doing it live. Okay.
Just a reminder, if anybody wants the deck list, they are on the screen with the Cardboard Live extension.
Hell yeah. I know it wasn't working too well the other day. They're having a little bit of problems. Should I bring in Blood Moon against you? You are a 4-color deck after all. Just oh, that was embarrassing. I can't believe I lost that game.
I can.
I can. You had Dark Confidant active for 40 turns.
Yeah.
Of course you're going to kill me. Your deck has Electro Dominance and Burn Spells, and Ensnaring Bridge is a joke. I forgot about all that stuff when I like got Cage. I'm just like, oh yeah, you can just suspend that stuff, and then I'm just going to die.
Yeah.
That was pretty funny. All right, Rob, hit me.
What is your favorite cards from Core Set 2020? What are you most excited about?
What am I most excited about? I like the 3-mana Chandra. I don't remember
the rare one.
the one that's a rare and is basically James Vryn's Prodigy that also makes little elementals that pressure planeswalkers.
Yeah, I like the rare one. I like the dinosaur, the 4-mana 5/4 dinosaur that has every ability, and the 2-mana dinosaur that shocks all your creatures and pumps itself.
Cool.
I hope I get to play dinosaurs.
Yeah, all the dinosaurs seem pretty sweet. I agree with that.
Don't cut the cage.
Well, it didn't do anything that game.
I mean,
It kept you from going ballistic, but it didn't really like shut you down.
yeah.
I mean, I already have an Owl Spellbound and Tormod script. I think I just want to like have those that
I
cycle.
cut the Tormod script and keep the cage and the spellbound.
Okay.
I'm cutting Finale because I just don't want this many cards that are bad against cage.
I don't want all these cards, but I think I want Galvanic Blast just to kill your stuff.
Yeah.
I don't have that many bad artifacts. Dead of Winter we can maybe bring in because it can kill the rhinos. Anyway, keep going.
Sayanguma 901. If you're playing a deck that has Relic main Is it worth playing that just for the bridge matchup, or should you perhaps replace it with something like a ley line or a more proactive card?
Well, it certainly depends on your deck. I don't think Relic is very good against them because I don't think the one-shot effects are that effective, and it's the most expensive one as well. So sometimes, just like Rest in Peace, sometimes it's too slow on the draw. Relic is going to be too slow on the draw often. But you see, like, this deck has one Nile Spellbomb in addition to other things because it's finding them a Goblin Engineer in the main deck. So I think it's fine as part of a package. But if you're specifically trying to target Bridgevine with that slot, if you're not really that worried about other graveyard decks, then yeah, you should be playing a more powerful card, even if it's a singleton Leyline. I'm a pretty big proponent of small numbers of Leylines, but especially if you have cards like Faithless Looting and ways to get it out of your hand when you draw it and it's dead, or if you can just hardcast it. Okay.
727 Degree wants to know, what do you think about the new 2-drop Stifle counter target legendary spell?
I don't know. It's such a weird collection of modes. I think Stifle as an effect has been so horrifically overrated for many years now because of how good it used to be in Legacy, specifically in exactly one deck, unless you're pining for the days of Stifle Knot. That I'm never really impressed by. Disallow existed because it was, the Stifle part was just the window dressing on the cancel. Mm-hmm. And sometimes it came up. People would be afraid to ultimate their planeswalkers, things like that. But I'm not really high on a very narrow counter spell that also has that effect. I don't really see you using it, using that card to counter like a Narset -2 is not really that good.
Yeah, the planeswalkers are just different now,
I guess it does counter planeswalkers, but we've seen counter spells be so devalued because of Teferi.
Yeah, that was going to be my next point, is that not only are the planeswalkers different, but the static effects make counter spells bad in general.
Yeah, so I'm pretty low on that card within the context of the format, even though there are a lot of legendary spells to target. Maybe it's play in small numbers just because it can counter their turn 3 planeswalker on the draw.
Sure.
That seems pretty good. But that's the part that I'm playing it for, the counter a legendary card, not the Stifle part.
Yeah. All right. Well, this is how I'm going to end up sideboarding. It looks kind of weird cutting Engineer, but against a deck that I am positive is going to have a bunch of Surgicals, Engineer is pretty bad. Basically, if you ever sack something and then target something in the graveyard, they just surgical that, or you just expose your Thopter Foundry combo immediately to getting surgical. So we're not going to be as reliant on the Thopter Sword combo. Instead, we're going to kind of pivot towards more Psi, Tezzeret Agent of Bolus, and removal spells. We want to kill Dark Confidants as well as the Dreadhorde Arcanist, and Dead of Winter can actually knock off the Footfalls. Gear for Ether Grid, also a pretty good backup plan as far as kill conditions are concerned. And since we're bringing in non-artifacts, we need to make sure we cut some non-artifacts as well. And I think Urza and Psi are both way better than Engineer in this matchup in particular.
Agreed. On my side, I'm still going to be bringing in a bunch of Surgicals. I'm pretty happy to play the mid-range game in most matchups, given that I have a bunch of Ancestrals and really powerful effects to set up. And Todd doesn't have a ton of ways to disrupt my hand, whereas I do. Mm-hmm. So I should be able to clear the removal out of the way, get my threats down, my Arcanist if I need it, or set up looting into for what I need into Electro Dominance and stuff like that. So I'm going to be bringing them in. I've got some artifact removal. I've got one copy of Dreadbore, which is mainly here to deal with the 4 toughness creatures, Urza and Psi, but also conveniently deals with Tezzeret in the post-board games. These removal spells are the removal that matches up weakest in or matches up least well in the matchup. Todd has a lot of non-creature spells, but they're not instants and sorceries, so Brutality is pretty weak. And we're also moving a little bit away from the graveyard by cutting our finales, so the discard outlets are less necessary, so trimming on those is also fine.
Yeah, I like that a lot. Alrighty, we're going to shuffle up here for game number 2. What's got for me, Rob?
Aiden13897 wants to know, when you guys are deck building, do you try to build around a single powerful card and make it work with a supporting engine, or find powerful synergy between multiple cards?
Just depends on the context. You can do either. if a certain card is powerful enough that we think it's a build around, then yeah, you can center around a specific card. I would say the latter happens more often, where you see a couple things that work together and you're like, this seems like it could form the core of a deck, and you build around that core. But there are certain build around me cards that are that powerful.
Yeah, I think in control deck specifically, you see a ton of the pick a card and everything else becomes a supporting cast. We saw Teferi, Hero of Dominaria, be the focal point of many control decks before War of the Spark came out, and basically every other card in the deck was slowing your opponent down so that you could cast Teferi and then protect it, whether that was with Root Snare or just playing a bunch of spot removal spells in your Esper control deck. I think when you get to aggro decks, you have a couple of the little synergies, but you're more so focusing on stuff like efficiency at varying casting costs.
Yeah, critical mass of high quality creatures at the spots in the curve where you need them.
Yeah, and then in combo decks, that's where you really look for the synergies, the 2-card combos that mix well together. And sometimes you want multiple 2-card combos, especially when you have tutor effects. So it really just depends on what kind of deck you want to build. But for the most part, control has a focal point. Combo occasionally has a focal point, but often has 2 different combos that kind of go well together with tutor effects. And then aggro decks generally just super low to the ground and critical mass.
And then, where was it? Oh, the Young Tuna wants to know, with the coming announcement of Standard Plus, is there any chance we'll see that on Versus Live at some point?
We had an announcement of Standard Plus?
Or in Arena, I'm sorry, on Arena.
Well, considering that they haven't announced it yet,
not now, but in the futures.
If it becomes a new format, or if they make a new format, then we will absolutely play it. But we have no idea where it even starts at. So,
yeah, it's all speculation at this point.
They could be back programming to like Origins for all we know, and then whatever. But yeah, I mean, we'll always play a new format if there's a new format that's not casual. Like we'll play. We're not going to play that much like Brawl. Right?
But we did play Brawl.
We did play Brawl.
And it was super fun.
It was a lot of fun, actually. All right, let's go and get to game number 2. Deuce. My hand's great.
Same.
Let's get it. Start with an Astrolabe, draw, and play a bobble.
Astrolabe is great.
Astrolabe is great.
Blackley Cliffs Inquisition.
You want a Whir or a Gal Blast? I have double Urza.
I will take the Whir.
Okay.
I think this game's going to go on for a while. I'll just take the more powerful card.
Yeah, we're going to hold off on the bobble in case we draw Mox Opal, but also I want to at least use it with Prismatic Vista. So we're going to play Vista this turn, and based on what Ross does, we're going to maybe use the bobble, maybe not. We kind of want to draw another land. We also kind of want a 3rd artifact to turn on Metalcraft for Gal Blast if he plays an Arcanist here. If he plays a Bob, though, then we're just going to kill it. One way or another.
Inquisition. Tank the Gal Blast. Pass the turn.
I guess we could just cast the Gal Blast. Oh, no, it is creature player.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
Well, you should bobble in response and see if you want to crack. I guess you can make red with this anyway. So, yeah.
All right, so...
Well...
Yeah, I'll just...
Yeah, just make red.
Just blast you.
I got 18.
All right.
And then you don't want to bobble?
Not really.
Okay.
So if I draw Opal, I want to just bust Urza right now.
Give it one more turn.
Draw a card. Your turn.
That's easy. You go to 18. Pass the turn.
Okay, so we're going to be casting Urza next turn no matter what, but we're also going to be cracking the Vista no matter what. So let's bobble me. Top card is Sword of the Meek. We don't really want that, so we're going to shuffle it away.
So 17 for you, 18 for me?
Yeah, we're going to get a Snow-Covered Swamp because this can find Steam Vents, and we have 2 Astrolabes already. Doesn't really matter, I guess, since we have the 2 Astrolabes.
Wait, how is Todd at 18? Or
I'm at 19. Ross is 18 from a Thoughtseize.
Yeah, I don't know why. I marked something.
No, and then Ross, you're at 16 because you took the Gal Blast.
Oh, I did Gal Blast you, yeah.
Okay, I marked something on both sides, on the wrong side.
Draw for bobble. Draw for turn.
There we go.
Unfortunately, I can't play Urza and activate. We'll go to 18.
Yep.
I'll just cast this and make a 4/4 and say go.
On your end step, I will go to 13 and push the Urza.
Yeah, we could have maybe waited one more turn to play the Urza, but I didn't want to get hit with a discard spell. So now we're basically out of gas, and Ross is probably going to play some creature that we can't interact with. And you know my last card, I think? No, you knew the Flutterstrand. I drew 2 cards. Actually, I shouldn't even play this. There's like literally no reason to play other than it makes... I guess it makes this not die to a Bolt, but
Yeah.
there's no way you kept Bolt in your deck. Maybe you did because I have the Goblins, whatever. And you fetched again, so you're at 15?
I'm at 13. I fetch shocked because it was a turn.
Okay.
You're up.
So 18, 13, yeah?
Yep.
Okay. Attack for this mini.
Exit.
Yep. Play a Psy. Play a land. Say go. I want to protect myself from discard, but I'm probably going to sack Astrolabe and a Mox Opal here.
Pass the turn.
All right, sack these 2, draw a card.
Exit.
Okay. All right. Go.
Okay, no gas out of Todd. That's a good one.
It is a Ghouler.
You're up. Actually, don't really have any good cards to hit with it, so it's not that good.
Your turn. That was a good draw.
Attack for 1.
17.
Dark Confidant. That is definitely.
Astrolabe.
Yep.
Urza. And now I can tap these 5 and play a spell off the top. Or a land. Your turn.
Do you know any of the cards in your deck?
No, I don't. I didn't like Seer Visions or
Okay.
nothing. You're up.
You can go. Now I am very dead. 16. Had Electro Dominance this entire game. Never found one of the 6 suspend cards that were left to go with it.
Yeah, I was actually kind of surprised you cited a couple out. I don't think they're that bad.
I mean, once you're when like you have Cage and I'm bringing out Finale, they're like I don't want to flood on them. I have 8. Like,
Sure. But I mean, you saw in game 1, they're just like suspendable pretty easily. Draw. Fetch.
15.
Yeah. Get my last island. I have a mountain left, so if I draw Tarn, I can get it, but that's the last fetchable. And we're going to go ahead and use Urza. Oh, play without mana cost. Yeah, play without using mana cost. Gonna do that.
That is how that works. Hold on.
All right. So we're gonna take down and make this a 5/5. We're gonna attack with these 2, I guess.
I think I'm dead regardless of what I do, but I'll go to 3.
Okay. Then I'll tap these. Do it again. Boom! To the dome ski.
Maybe I need to trim discard spells just because you empty your hand so quickly.
Maybe. I would
Well.
leave Thoughtseize though, because I can hit Urza.
Yeah,
Maybe you just trim 2 Inquisition.
maybe I just don't bring in as many surgicals.
Oh, that's true. Well, yeah, definitely now that you know that I cut the Engineers, Surgical's not that good.
You still have the combo in your deck.
Sure, I have 2 and 1 and a couple words.
Okay, we'll cut a surgical and bring in another Footfalls.
All right.
So we have 3 surgicals and 7 suspend cards.
Dude, Urza's nice.
I haven't even seen it go with Thopter Sword yet.
Yeah, we did it a couple times. When we were testing out cards from Modern Horizons like a month ago. I guess maybe that was not even a month ago. It was like 3 weeks ago.
Close
So,
enough.
Yeah.
Tyler Durden 803 wants to know what do you think about how humans fits in the meta? Does it seem like it has a decent Hogak matchup?
I'm not super high on humans right now, though I know Dylan Hand's been playing a fair bit with it and he likes it, but we're sort of both biased in different directions there. And it can be reasonable against Hogak. He's got his graveyard hate in the sideboard. You can definitely, sort of trump them on the board if their hand isn't great.
Yeah.
And then I think you're pretty good once the Izzet decks start cutting gut shot, which they are now because they need surgical against Hogak.
Yeah. I mean, I think humans is quite good right now specifically. And if the Bridgevine deck doesn't draw Altar of Dementia, I think the games are really easy. But if they ever draw Altar, they just combo kill you.
That's why you need Unsettled Mariner.
Yeah.
Stops you from getting comboed.
That's true. I do like Unsettled Mariner quite a bit.
Yeah.
Though I do think Kitesail Freebooter is really good against the Dredge deck if you just are on the play. Stealing their it's not really good, but I've had my Altar of Dementia stolen multiple times and it was insane both times. I was just gonna combo kill them on 3, but they had the prevention. But Unsettled Mariner would have done the same thing and also been better against control decks. So
probably not, because then they just target themselves and make a million zombies.
Sure. All right. Well, here for game 3, and my hand is okay.
My hand is great.
All right. It is pretty good against discard effects because we just have a couple powerful ones.
I have a discard spell.
I have a Tezzeret and 3 lands, and then an Ether Grid and a bridge.
I will take... It's definitely one of the 3 drops.
Yeah.
I will take the Aether Grid.
Yeah. We have a lot of ways to kill bridge / invalidate it. All right, let's play this, and... Actually, I'm not going to play this. I'm going to play this, and I might pop it depending on what Ross does.
Dark Confidant.
Yeah, now we definitely need to pop it. So let's look at my deck. We're going to look for specifically Galvanic Blast.
Yep, here at 19. Get to see 3 cards towards the Gal Blast.
Yeah.
First one missed.
All right, so draw for the bauble, draw for turn, and God Blast. Here we go.
You're up.
Let's go bridge. Here you go.
Okay, that is not a bad one. Arcanist.
Mm-hmm.
Pass.
Astrolabe.
Yep. You're at 17.
Go.
Attack Inquisition. You're just worrying for Cage, or?
Yeah, I'm either getting Cage or Spellbomb, but I can't pay for the Spellbomb, so I'm just going to get Cage. But, yeah, I don't really want to take my Astrolabe, and I kind of want to just shut down Arcanist, so we'll just get Cage.
Okay, take 1, get a 16. Pass the turn.
Tap, draw. What are the odds that Ross has his Dreadbore? Guess I can't really do much about it anyway.
You're at 15.
Yep. What are you at?
18.
18?
Just from the Blood Crypt on turn 1.
Okay. Just going to get a basic. And I will plus, look at the top 5, put an artifact in my hand. We'll cast it and say go. Rest go in any order. Okay. As long as you're at an odd number, I think you can take
17.
damage.
Stomping tapped. In case I want to suspend. Crashing Footfalls.
Mhm.
You got 2 in hand right now?
Yeah. Man, we might get Shattering Spree. That would suck.
That's what I'm hoping for.
I'm not sure if I like Shattering Spree or Vandal Blast more. 5 mana to just wipe them up seems pretty good. Edge Champion's not really a major player anymore, though. All your mana is basically red, except for the 1 swamp.
Also, you can replicate off of Arcanist.
No way.
Yeah, replicate's a trigger when you cast the spell.
That's not... No, Replicate, you have to pay extra mana into the spell when you cast it.
Oh yeah, it's not a trigger. But it is like as you're casting it, you pay extra mana.
Okay. Well, if that's the case, then cool.
Which one is a trigger?
Can we... Storm.
No, there's one that's like a...
Shattering Spree Replicate reads, when you play this spell, copy it for each time you paid its replicate cost. You may choose new targets for the copies.
So...
And I know play, I believe,
I know- well, I don't-
like errata or whatever means
Yeah.
cast.
But it's
Okay.
it's just an extra cost. Like it's just like kicker. It's just kicker.
I mean, sure, whatever. I know you can't overload, but I don't know why you can't overload. Maybe overload says from hand. What the hell is this?
Electro Dominance.
Oh.
Fortunately, I haven't drawn any spells to cast off of it.
Okay, just 2 lands.
No, it's a surge. I guess I could surgical. I could get your.
So you can't surgical this,
Yes.
but you could surgical. I have 2 more Gal Blasts. I have
This
1 more
more
Whir and 1 more Grid. Or you can just hold it. I probably just hold it. But
Yeah, well, multiple of those are instants if you have them in your hand now.
well,
But it's
I'm
just
tapped
not.
out.
Yeah, it's just not doing anything. I just won't cast it. Attack you for 1.
Okay.
Or 14.
You can also just now cast it for life and take these because I have 1 more, but all right. Kind of want to save the Pirate Spellbomb in case he draws another Dark Confidant. So I don't really want to pop that. That was a great draw. Draw a card, make a thing. Play an Inventor's Fair. Say go.
You're up.
I don't really want to sacrifice anything except the Astrolabes, but I think just sacking 2 Astrolabes to draw a card here is pretty good.
Also have the Thopter to sacrifice.
Yeah, but I kind of want to just start killing you.
In 1 on upkeep, you go to 15.
Yeah, thank you. Stack for 1.
16. That's not good.
Let's fetch
14.
play a Nihil Spellbomb, trigger this. Tap these 5. I could probably leave this untapped and tap this. Or maybe I should leave this untapped
And tap the fair.
and tap both these and this.
I would leave the black mana untapped because of this.
Sure. So 3, 4, 5?
No, the 5th is the fair.
5. Oh, yeah. Sorry. All right. Activate Urza's. Play this.
Get a Thopter.
Let's just do it again.
Yeah. Just kill this.
Yeah. Here you go.
Give so many things. Perfect. Guess what I drew?
Discard spell or another
Yeah.
surgical.
So I'm about. This is 3, 4, 7, 8, 9. So this is just lethal. This is 14 power, even plus 2 from spell is exactly 16. I'm
Okay.
at 16. It's not good. It's not good at all.
Oh, I'm sorry. Are you dead?
Yeah, no, I have 4 complete bricks. Just drew a lot of lands this game.
Yeah, that sucks. And you didn't draw looting either. Looting is one of the ways to mitigate flood in that deck.
Yep.
That's unfortunate. That was a pretty sweet game to start, and then I literally just drew back-to-back Nutter Butters.
Yeah, I mean, I had discard spell in the Bob, and it's just, did you draw the removal spell off of Bobble? And you did, and that was basically the game.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of times with Bob, like, that is it, right? We have 11 minutes. Do you want to just move on and maybe talk about the decks or whatever? Or?
Yeah, decks are pretty cool. I'm not sure if this deck has enough ways to, connect all of the disparate parts. You've got Electrodominance, you've got Dreadhorde, you've got all the suspend cards, but if you don't draw them together individually, they're not very good.
Yeah.
So I think this deck needs blue so you can play things like Serum Visions and actually find all the pieces rather than being straight red-black.
Yeah. In that scenario, I don't know if you actually even want to play the discard spell, so maybe cutting black altogether is okay.
Yeah, but blue-red deck.
Yeah, but Grixis is also fine. I just think that playing 3 colors, like, you need a really good reason. And the discard spells are pretty good, I guess, especially with Arcanist. So
cut the black, then it's just a teamer deck, Todd. Even without, thinking about it, Todd just makes every deck into teamer.
I just don't like taking so much damage from your lands. I felt like you took a lot of damage from your lands that match.
I took 4 game or so. That wasn't a big deal. It was mainly just, in game 1, I drew a bunch of suspend cards and no way to cast them. And in game 2 and 3, I drew Electrodominance and no suspend card to go with them. Mm-hmm. And it just felt really awkward. And every game I was very dependent on the creatures living, and I didn't really have ways to find more unless I drew a bunch of lootings. So I think you just need 2 1-mana cantrips to make sure that you can find all the different things. Then you can probably not even play the full 8 suspend cards and not get stuck with a lot of them in your hand.
See, I think you should just focus way more on... I mean, the cantrips are fine, but I think that Seasoned Pyromancer actually fixes a lot of that problem where either you run out your whole hand, or you just get to play more stuff like Lightning Axe, which is inherently powerful in the deck and doesn't really punish you that much, because if you empty your hand, you just get to draw 2 cards. But if you get stuck with some of the suspend cards, you can also just pitch them early on and make some 1/1s and kind of churn through your deck.
That's a really good point. I think Seasoned Pyromancer could go a long way towards solving the issues, and maybe you can stay red-black as a result. Mm-hmm. So I would try Pyromancer first, and then if that doesn't work, go towards more of an Izzet shell.
Mm-hmm. As far as the entirety of the deck is concerned, I'm not completely sold that Crushing Footfalls is actually just the best thing you can do with that shell. I've seen a lot of people try to play the Electrodominance type deck, and when you assemble the combo, you usually need it to be able to win the game. And making 2 4/4s is pretty good early on, but I've lost multiple times after casting Crashing Footfalls. I've resolved multiple Ancestral Visions in the first 3 turns and lost. Drawing cards and making 4/4s is not the most powerful thing you can do in Modern. But when you combine that with the heavy disruption package, the 7 discard spells, with a decent amount of removal, that can be turned into a winning strategy. And I think it's more about consistency than anything. And I think, maybe just Seasoned Pyromancer is just the only thing that you really need to add to the deck.
And that's another reason to try Pyromancer over the blue cards, because if you go the Izzet shell, then you don't have that disruption to ensure that your Ancestrals and your Footfalls are going to trump what your opponent's doing. You need the discard to make sure that those are good enough by crippling your opponent to some extent.
Good splash for Izzet Charm.
Izzet Charm is not a... I know...
Just think about what it does in the deck.
I know I want to open with the card.
Just think about what it does in the deck. Just think about it. Kills a thing if you need to. It's pretty good. What else does it do? Oh, yeah, counters combos. It's pretty good. And you already have Dreadhorde Arcanist. Why don't you discard cool things?
Maybe I'll play 1.
Yeah.
Can't play more than that.
That's fine.
It's just too inefficient.
That's all I'm asking. Play 1.
You can try 1.
All right, so let's talk about this Goblin Engineer deck, because personally, it felt really underwhelming as far as power level is concerned. But I like how it felt after sideboard when your opponent has a lot of interaction. Right, when your opponent hits you with discard, removal, and puts you on a clock with either Dark Confidant or some 2-drop, whatever it is. The deck really stepped into its own after sideboard and was able to fight through. In the games where we're low on resources, it has a lot of ways to generate 2-for-1s, presents some really powerful threats. I was hugely impressed by the ability of Urza to just dominate the game if left unchecked by just continually playing that card off the top of the deck.
It's like a hybrid creature planeswalker ramp spell somehow. Like it just does so many different things.
It's
Like it has
real
this,
good.
it has this pretty sizable immediate impact. You know, the 1/4 body and usually like a 4/4-ish card construct. So you're getting a good amount of power there. You can block with it against aggressive decks. You can
I
attack.
love that you get the mana
all that other
rebate
stuff.
immediately too.
Yeah. And then, you get your mana rebate immediately. Sometimes you get an immediate card out of it because of that mana rebate. And then when it sticks around, you're just drawing 2 cards a turn. So, definitely an impressive card. We never really got to see the Thopter sword part of the deck go off.
No,
you were mainly winning with Sai and Urza.
No, but I think that that's fine. And it's possible that game 1, you're just really focused on Goblin Engineer to find Thopter's sword. But the things that I've seen Engineer do that really impressed me out of other Engineer shells was recurring Astrolabe and graveyard removal. Nihil Spellbomb continually, popping your opponent's graveyard was really strong, but also just the ability to continually rebuy Astrolabe, since it has the enters the battlefield effect, was quite good. So I do think that it is going to be common to side out Goblin Engineer because of how poorly it interacts with an opposing surgical extraction. And I kind of want to jump on that, and that's why I did it, even though we're trying to spotlight some of these new cards. I just think that it's just going to be very common for your opponent to have very few Thopter sword pieces and no to only a couple Goblin Engineers after sideboard, because whatever your tutor up's probably just going to get stripped from you, and your opponent is likely going to have a lot of graveyard hate in general, and they're probably going to bring it in if they see Goblin Engineer in game 1.
Yeah, agreed. And so that makes a lot of sense. Important that a deck like this can move away from the graveyard part of the plan and still be able to compete. And we saw it able to do that. And even more impressive that it does so in a matchup that is designed to win those fair attrition games. But you got a lot of powerful individual pieces in those kinds of matchups in Sai, Urza, and Tezzeret, Agent of Bolus after sideboarding. So, some powerful cards. Didn't really get to see the linear parts of either of these decks go off. I was more focused on disrupting you, and then the pieces didn't really come together. You were less focused on even assembling the pieces as a result, and just let your powerful cards do the talking.
Yeah. All right. Well, before we move on, there anything chat wants to know?
You have one question.
Is it from Hystas?
No, they're not in the chat today.
So
I assume they must be at work, so they might join us later.
Gonna have to
Hystas usually watches us from work, not to narc on Hystas, but
He's a model employee, and you should give him a raise.
yes,
Whoever
asks a
their
lot of
employer
good
may be.
questions.
Are there any cards that you're glad to see rotate this fall?
Teferi, Hero of Dominaria.
Yeah, that's my primary one. It's just been so busted for so long. I don't know. In my head, I can't even think of what's actually leaving. What is it? Ixalan block?
Yeah.
Ixalan was unremarkable.
Yeah, exactly.
So, fine.
Goblin Chain Whirler.
Bye.
I'm just
Package it on
Banalish
your
Marshal, History of Benalia. Bye.
yeah, like a lot of cards that I'm just sick of seeing. It's been a while. Like,
I mean, I don't want to go on a rant here, but I was really mad when they walked back the double rotation each year. I really liked every 6 months just having 2 sets or whatever rotate out. I thought that was fantastic. And the way that they should have done it is that every set does stay in for 2 years, and then you just have a big rotation every fall and every spring, and you just get basically fresh formats. You don't rotate a whole year at once. You just rotate half a year every half a year. So.
yeah. No, I agree. I liked the double rotation. It was hard for a lot of people to keep up with, and they didn't constantly having to keep up with it. I get why they rolled it back, but for people who are entrenched like us and are always going to be on top of things like that, that's not as big of a deal, and it does help keep standard fresh. Cards that are just really, really powerful, just way above the curve, and are going to see play almost regardless of context, because they're certainly a standard format you could design or contrive where Teferi would not be good. Hero of Dominaria, but those are just that format is just never going to actually see print because standard stays within a certain confines that Wizards likes and they found that players like. So a card at that power level is just going to be really good in every single standard format that it appears in, at least in the modern day, and I'm just sick of it. It's so good.
It is really good.
At least we stopped.
I'm glad Search for Escanta is gone too. That's right.
And
Yeah.
Nexus.
And Nexus. Oh, thank God. Wow.
Man, all my least favorite cards are just going. It's going to be great.
All right, here's I'll ask the flip side of this question. What are you sad to see go? I'm gonna say mine first. There's only one card. There's only one card I'm sad to see go. Chart of Course. I'm very sad it's leaving. It's gonna be a little bit harder to bring back Arclight Phoenix once it's gone. It's gonna be a lot harder to make Goblin Electromancer worthwhile when it's gone.
Yeah.
But
what set is Curious Obsession from? Is that Exelon Block?
Yes.
it's not
Yeah.
Curious.
I
It is
believe
Curious
that's
Obsession.
It's like a piratey card, right? It's got to be Exelon Block.
No,
Maybe.
I know it's Ixalan Block. I just
Yeah.
don't know which set.
Sure.
Curious Obsession.
Really? You were that into Mono Blue?
Yeah. Mono Blue is my jam. I played it at the Pro Tour. I would have kept playing it if it was good, but it stopped.
Oh, was that your best Pro Tour finish ever?
Yeah. Not really because I constructed. I 6-4 constructed, but and 5-1 limited.
Sure.
But turns out I'm better at limited than people think because I never play it.
Well, why would you? It's
It's
boring.
pretty fun.
It's not.
It is.
It's not fun to watch. Not really.
It is.
Fun to play.
It's definitely not fun to watch. I hate watching it too, but it's fun to play. I like drafting.
You know, okay. Did you watch any of the Mythic Championship this past weekend?
I did not.
Yeah, I watched almost the whole thing, and let me tell you, no draft. You know how many people were watching that? A lot, but not Ross. He's above Arena. Doesn't like it. Off it. When you can start streaming?
Soon.
You gonna play Arena?
Yes.
Better start working on that collection.
All right. Well, we're going to move on. We got 4 more decks, 2 more matches to bring you. We're going to continue this kind of off the beaten path structure with these modern decks that you don't really get to see a whole lot, but a lot of new cards are cropping up, and we're going to keep exploring what's next on the docket.
I don't know what order they're going in.
I don't know.
We have Esper Unearthed versus Ren Jund.
Ren Jund. All right. Well, the Esper Unearth deck I think got second or third at the Mythic.
The MCQ.
No, it wasn't the
No.
MCQ. It was the other one.
The other one, the format championship.
Format Championship. You know, it's all.
One of them. It
Anyway,
did well in.
it looks
also
like a-
did well in the challenge the previous week. There was one of the top.
It looks like a normal Esper deck, but it's got some Unearths in it, and it's got Monster Mentor in it. It looks cool
It
AF.
doesn't really look like a normal. Like it's got the disruptive elements.
It looks like an old Esper
Yeah.
standard Monastery Mentor deck.
It's like the old Esper deck that had like Tassigers and Thought Scours
Yeah.
and Lingering Souls. It's
Yeah.
like that deck.
Yes.
But instead of Tassiger, you're playing Unearth and Monastery Mentor to go with your Snaps and Jace Runes Prodigies. It looks really cool because Monastery Mentor is really good with Unearth and Force of Negation.
Yeah.
We're not going to get too far into it. We'll do that after the break. We'll be back in just a minute.